Welcome to another week at the Fools Rush In STFC podcast. It's been a mixed week, both on and off the pitch, and not just at Swindon Town. For those who are looking for entertainment, Channel 4 had the wonderful show Help on. I don't know if anyone caught that, but Stephen Graham was fantastic again. And for those looking for great value entertainment, Netflix hit Sex Education was back. Everyone here was absolutely delighted by that. We also had the sad news that Jimmy Greaves passed away, as did John Callis, the Only Fools and Horses actor, which was very sad. And at SN1, Town got a draw at Northampton. And joining me to discuss all that and more this time round, we have Ben. How are you, pal?
Good. I'm good, Steve. And yourself?
Very well, thank you. Kieran's here.
Yeah, I'm good. Have you been watching Gogglebox by any chance? Because that's a very Gogglebox intro.
No, Gogglebox isn't my thing, if I'm honest. I don't like it at all. I don't know why. Everyone raves about it, but it's not for me, that.
Moved on from the two Ronnies.
Back from his, we don't really know where he's been. He claims he tells us, but Rich is back this week. How are you, pal?
Hello, mate. You're right.
Very well. And fresh with all the information required this week, Adam Wood is with us as well. How are you, pal?
All right, and that's just reminded me I need to get a fantasy Premier League up as well.
You know who's top, Woody?
No, I don't.
It's not you.
Let's start with the result at the weekend then. Ben, you're first on my screen, so I'll ask you. Point away at Northampton, happy with that?
Yeah, it's a fair result, really, at the end of the day. A little bit disappointed that we conceded so late, but we could have won, we could have lost, so you've got to say it's fair. A bit disappointing that Simpson did miss a lot of chances, but could have had 4 at the end of the day, but we just got to remember his age. Yeah, no, happy with the point. It's good. Move on to next week. Played pretty well. Fair draw.
Kieran, do you want to jump straight in there? Because as soon as the classic cliche "we could have won, could have lost" come out, you seem to lose your head.
Ben's just come through every aspect, every potential outcome of a football match. Then he's probably put a bet on all 3, and he as well. we might lose. Fuck it, it's got to be one of them. But yeah. I'll take a draw away from home. It's a tough place to go to Northampton. They've had some good results. And if you can draw your away ones, win your home ones. I know we haven't particularly done a lot of that this season, but hopefully we can start doing that and it'll sort of pan out to be all right. But still unbeaten on the road. I think I'm still missing a couple of players, so it's not the worst result. It's a good result. I think the only thing that we can be a bit negative is that we did concede so late on and just didn't see out.
No, absolutely. And Rich, it's worth saying that JJ continues to impress, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was incredible on Saturday. So obviously be at the game as well. Obviously, great atmosphere. Obviously, all the fans singing Jojo Walcott's name. Obviously at home as well. But I mean, to see it in the away stand as well, it's absolutely fantastic. Do you know what? It was a good game. I thought both teams, like I say, could have won it. It could have gone, as like Ben said, could have gone either way. I think we were lucky not to lose that game, to be quite honest with you. They had a goal rightfully chalked off, because it was a blatant foul. But I think all the players can take positives from that. But I think with the players that we've got in the midfield now, we should be trying our luck from outside the box and not trying to walk it in all the time. And I just feel as if that's what we're doing at the moment, where we get a little bit of space at the edge of the area. Just have a pop at it. I mean, Johnny Williams, Ben Gladwin, when he came on at the weekend, both had opportunities to do that. And neither of them did it. And I reckon we could have potentially got a result out of that, which is a bit of a shame. But, like Ben said, move on to next week now. Hopefully we can start to get some results, score more than 1 goal. But I think the most positive thing is that we're still unbeaten on the road this season. So that is a positive. And we've got the best away attendance as well.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, because obviously you were fortunate enough to be one of the many that got a ticket. Just give us a sample. We all know what away days with Swindon Town are like, but when there's that many, give us a taste for what it was like being there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been to 3 out of the 4 away games this season. So I've done Scunthorpe, Salford, and Northampton. And you know what, it's brilliant, you know. And obviously, since post lockdown and everything like that, I'm not surprised that the Swindon fan. I mean, we're always well travelled anyway, but to be back in that, to be back in the away stand, everyone's just singing. That's it. Just backing the team, getting the team pumped up. And you know, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and it's such an atmosphere as well. To be all in one stand, all Swindon fans, and all in one stand. It's fantastic to be there. And do you know what? It's been like that for the 3 away games that I've been to, and I'm sure it was at Stevenage as well, because we brought almost 1,000 there as well. So you know, yeah, it's fantastic. And you know what? We will continue to do that this season as well. And I think we're going to have packed out away attendances for the next few games at least. At least up until Oldham, I reckon, which is end of October.
No, I completely agree. And Woody, again, reflecting on the result as a whole, and when you consider where that leaves us in the division, you know, just over a month in, and where Northampton are, it's definitely a credible point on the road, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a bit gutted that it didn't stay 1-0, because I think my prediction was 1-0 and Simpson to score. But I should have put money on it, because then it might have happened. But yeah, it's a good. I mean, regardless of what I thought would happen, I generally thought we would win. I thought we would nick it, because, as Rich said, we're better away from home at the moment. But you know, before the game, realistically, as you said, let's take a draw. Especially, I can't remember. I don't. In terms of the lineups, I think Grant's still missing, wasn't he? If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no. I know one player doesn't make a team, but there's no coincidence that the last 3 games, you know, we've not. It didn't feel like we've dominated the midfield as much as we have. I didn't go obviously on Saturday, but it does. From what I've heard of people that were there, I have to admit I've not caught up with Rich about it, but I think. You know, it does sound that we weren't our dominant selves in the middle of the park as what we have been in particular on the road. But and Kieran got it spot on, to be fair, in terms of, you know, if you can try and draw your away games and win your home games, you're normally going to finish off quite well. We do need to flip this round at home. I think Saturday's a very good chance, but we're going to talk about that in a minute anyway. But yeah, it would be nice to just get, like Rich said, more than one goal, get rid of these boring 1-goal difference wins. But sometimes sometimes if you need to win ugly, you need to win ugly, and you know, but it's weird that we're playing nice football and maybe not getting the rewards that we deserve from it. But you know, who knows? I'm still content that we're going to do well this season. So yeah, I'm happy with Saturday's result, really.
And on that topic, obviously everyone on the podcast has been saying how they're confident that the goals will come and stuff. But are we, considering we've got realistically one out-and-out striker, if you like, still, are we too reliant? Do we need the midfielders to be taking more responsibility? Because that's where, when you look at some of the names mentioned earlier, the likes of Gladwin, for example, that's where the experience is in these more number 10 or attacking midfielders, whatever you want to call them. That's where the experience is. Do we need them to be stepping up and saying, look, we can't rely on just this one kid to score all the goals?
Yeah, I agree and I disagree. I'm really on the fence about that. And the only reason I say that is because there are a lot of teams now that don't have an out-and-out striker, because they're the 3 behind them chip in. Now, what we got to remember is Simpson didn't score for a few games, but we were still scoring goals.
Yeah.
So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You know, you take Kessler out, for example, where he was out for was it 2 games? I think he missed 2 games, and apparently, again, this is just from what I've heard from others, that he didn't really seem himself when he on Saturday. But you know, that could be a bit of tiredness from the international break. You know, Johnny Williams maybe needed the international break to get fitter. You know, so I think they will start chipping in now. I'm still hearing such great things about Gilbert in training as well. And every match I've watched him at Port Vale, and I watched him the game in the trophy game as well. And he was superb, really. So I think I'm still pretty. We just need to get more than one goal in terms of, once we've done it, I think we'll start regularly doing it. But the problem is we're a very energetic side. and teams in League Two typically know how to defend against very energetic sides, and they try to slow the play down and things like that, which normally means there's only going to be a 1 or 2 goal game. But I think it's a case of we might have to put up with it for a while until teams start tiring. As we get into the winter months.
We need an early goal in the game. Sorry, Rich, you go.
I was going to say it's an interesting one, obviously, in regards to the number 10s having their efforts on goal and scoring and stuff like that. Because before, obviously, Tyrese scored his first goal, we were all on his back saying that, he hasn't scored and everything like that. So it is an interesting one, and obviously we want a mix of goal, but again, it goes back to we need to score more than one goal a game. It's like, if we score 3, we're not expecting Simpson to score a hat-trick, but we are expecting one of our midfielders to chip in and for Tyrese maybe to score a goal and get a brace. So it's, and once that starts coming, I think everyone will start getting more involved. But I think Ghana needs to push that a little bit more now.
Yeah, I think we need to score. We need to score in the first half more than anything. We need an early goal. There's only once this season that we've actually scored in the first half. All our goals have been in the second half. And once we get an early goal, obviously that forces the hand of the other team we're playing, and that opens up the game. And that's when we'll see more entertaining, more goals. It's when it gets in at 0-0 and the away team have got something to defend and they've got us at arm's length, and it sort of kills the game a little bit. But we need a break. We need a lucky break early. Then I think games will open up, and then I think we'll see more goals because teams will have to come at us.
I definitely think that's a valid point. Ben, if we can take matters off the pitch for a little bit, then we're in the last week now of people being able to buy season tickets. What's your thought? Obviously, it was the race to 6K, but there's been a solid promotion behind it all, and I don't think we're going to hit it, but it's not been a bad effort all round, has it?
No, I think it's been pretty good, to be quite honest, especially after the refunds from last year and people not being able to get full refunds. We've also got to appreciate that it's not just like one person not getting a refund, it's a whole families. Some people spending about 700 quid on a season ticket, and they can't really afford to do that again this season and not get refunded on last season. So you've got to take that into account. But I think the numbers have been pretty good. Home attendances have been absolutely through the roof. They've been fantastic. It's been what I expected in League One, to be quite honest. So the fans have backed the club. They have done everything the club has asked them to do. 6K was always ambitious, but we're probably going to be on like 4,500, something like that towards the end, I guess. I'm sure there'll be a number at the end, but kudos to all the Swindon fans who put the money where their mouth is, and well done all.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that sentiment. Kieran, more news out of the club this week is that friend of the skipper, Jack Martin's going to be, they're using him as a way of talking about testicular cancer and promoting that this week, and doing their bit for charity. And it's a very important cause, isn't it? And one that we have to make sure gets the recognition.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's good, especially as men's issues. Sort of football clubs and sports clubs across the whole are sort of coming out and talking about them. We'll get more men talking about it and raise the biggest awareness, because not being sexist, but a majority of men will watch or play football or some sport of some type. So it's good to see it's getting the awareness, and it's very good that the club managed to draw on a friend of the skipper and sort of come and talk about it and raise that awareness. So it's all. And I know that the Football League and stuff do a lot of stuff around the sort of November and stuff. I know like Jeff Stelling does a lot around it. So it's good to get it out there and talked about. And it can be no bad situation talking about it, as obviously a subject that no one really wants to talk about or think about, but it's certainly there's needs much raised awareness to sort of help and save lives, really.
No, that's completely true, and I hope it gets the support and the backing that the cause deserves. On a similar note, just as a personal one from me, a friend of mine on the 9th of October is doing a charity 24-hour stream of an old game that you guys know I'm a big fan of, Championship Manager 0102, and he's doing it to raise money for Baby Loss Awareness Week, something that was very close to him. So I just wanted to give that a shout out. Hopefully anyone who watches this will be able to follow us on Twitter. You'll see all the details. I'm going to be doing various promotion for him on Twitter and Facebook and stuff to try and help raise the awareness and hopefully raise some money for him that way as well. I can see Si's joined us. How are you, pal?
Hi, buddy. Hi, everyone. Yeah, good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. You're slightly early. We're still doing a little bit of the Swindon Town stuff, but everyone who's watched this before will remember that Si is a Colchester fan and happy to talk all things League Two. And it just so happens that we seem to be playing each other this weekend, so I'm sure he's going to have plenty to say shortly. Woody, let's move on then, and our weekly assessment of STFC women and a fixture announcement that's caught a bit of attention.
Yeah, so obviously they're being drawn against Oxford United in the League Cup. I think it's the preliminary round. Going to be a challenging tie. I'm not going to lie. Oxford United are pretty good in women's football. You know, they're obviously ex-WSL as well. So it'll be an interesting tie. But it was almost kind of fate, wasn't it? In terms of the club finally, you know, take the women's under their banner. And then, you know, arguably one of the first, probably, well, bar maybe 2 fixtures, is one of the first fixtures under the Swindon Town banner. So, you know, it'd be a good game. I think they're playing at Court Place Farm at Oxford City, which is, you know, it's quite a nice facility. Obviously, it's where I coached for a while. But yeah, Oxford United are a good side. They're one of the better sides in the league above. So it's gonna be a tough game. They've got some very handy players, but you know, hopefully the injury bench that Swindon had at the beginning of the season is going to decrease slightly now, and they, you know, will be able to put out a really good squad. It would have been nice to be at home, I think, and then maybe we might have been able to push Clem's buttons a bit to see if we can get that game on the county grounds. But it is what it is, you know. So, but it's, you know, they've got a couple of good games now. The ladies' first team leading into, I think they got Larko on Tuesday. They haven't got a game this week, but it might be Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
I think it's 27th, buddy.
Hmm?
I think it's the 27th.
29th. It is Larko's the 29th. See, I know that one. I'm prepared this
Oh,
one.
no way.
And then they got Maidenhead the week before the Oxford game, who, again, those are 2 games that, in my opinion, they should win. I'm going to be careful because the Larko manager is a Swindon Town fan and I see him regularly.
He used to manage Swindon as well, didn't he? Swindon women?
He was at Bassett for a while, Johnny.
Right.
So yeah, it's but you know, they should be games that they should win, which hopefully can put them in good stead, ready for the cup game.
Absolutely. And just before we move on to talk about the weekend's game, I'm sure you'd like to discuss how well you're doing and how badly I'm doing in the Fools Rush In Fantasy Premier League.
No, I wouldn't, because I'm really annoyed that I've been knocked off top spot when I've got the same points as the people on top spot.
You were second.
To be fair, I had an absolute.
Three of us have got the same points, but me and Richard there are joint first, but you were somehow third. I think that's very.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't understand it. Stupid game.
I had a blinder this week, though.
Yeah, to be fair, Richard's like 83 points.
Yeah, so that's what I expected.
3 points.
Yeah, so I thought, if
I haven't even got 83 points this season.
Don't worry, you're doing better than that, Fife. You're mid-table now, mate. You're Crystal Palace now, mate. You're doing all right.
Yes.
How did that happen? I thought I was rock bottom and the gap was just getting bigger.
No,
I've had a mare, mate. I bet I'm bottom.
Gary and Ned are the 2 strongest teams.
Ned's not been out of Christian's basement to get his phone and change the team.
Yes, for everyone who watched last week, #WhereIsNed is still going because we haven't heard from him. So if anyone has any ideas where Ned's gone, please let us know on Twitter. The funnier, the better.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it's you Fifey in 5th. You're only 1 point behind Wazza in 4th. And then obviously leading the way is Rich and Kieran, and then me in 3rd on the same points as Rich and Kieran. Bloody fancy football. It's rubbish. Whose idea was this?
It's all right because so we all talk about this obviously off camera in our WhatsApp groups and stuff. And I went to play my wild card for getting there as a Friday night football. So I'm sat there watching Newcastle v Leeds. looking at doing my Wildcard, and I'm like, hang on, this ain't right.
Oh no.
So don't worry. The comeback for me is on, and I intend to be tops. I'll be top of the charts by Christmas. Is my plan.
I've done that.
The only thing I haven't checked yet was that I think, Ben, you've surrendered and put Ronaldo in your team, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I've done it.
Was
I've done
anybody
it.
else? I think everybody was avoiding it.
I put him
got
in the
fed up and
first
just
week
did
he
it.
signed.
I've
did you?
got Salah in there. I've got Ronaldo in there. I've got Van Dijk in there. I've got
Have you got one of them?
Casper Schmeichel in there.
The rest of his team must all be the 4 million crap players that don't even play.
Well, what I've done is just gone for just bad boy, really good players, and then just the cheapy ones that seem to have picked up a decent amount of points. I've got like Gallagher from Crystal Palace in there, who's done quite well. So I've got Maguire. I've got Maguire in there as well. So I've got a mixed team of superstars and.
I do have one thing. I know this is supposed to be a Swindon Town / League 2 podcast, but there is one thing I want to just discuss with you. But before I do, Si, are you a fancy Premier League player?
Yeah, I do it. Not
Yeah, how
very
you
well,
getting on
but I
this
do
year?
do it. So.
Yeah.
So one of those things. Every time I basically put a player in the team that's doing really well, his sort of season nosedives. So if anyone's got any favourite players out there or players that want to see do very well, let me know and I'll stick him in the team, and that's their season over and done with.
I have
Put Ronaldo in there.
I have a new favourite player, and his name's Mark Noble. Because if anyone was to read all the different messages in various WhatsApp groups and stuff, so obviously the Man United West Ham game, Ronaldo's losing his head because he's thinking he should have had 3 penalties. I argue he might have earned 1, possibly, but didn't get given any. West Ham do get given 1 for a handball that is a handball, and Moyes decides to be an absolute shithouse, make a sub. And as Paddy Power tweeted, if only he had a recent example of when making a sub to score a penalty is not a good idea, because De Gea saves it. And I tweeted to so many people, that's an absolute shithouse move. I hope he misses now. And then there was just laughing emojis in every WhatsApp group I'm in that he went and missed the penalty. Absolutely superb stuff from De Gea. So let's talk Colchester. And before I get your guys' predictions, Si, give us a little bit of an insight into the season so far for your boys. I know last time out you lost 1-0 to Crawley.
Yeah, and to be fair, that flattered us, that scoreline. About 6-0 to Crawley. Our season at the moment, I wish we could play every game away. We seem to be doing really well on the road. Yeah, we can't sort of string 2 passes together at home for some reason. I think a lot of that is to do with the fact we're missing a striker. So whereas on the road, teams will obviously attack more, being the home team, allow us space behind to put a plethora of wingers. We seem to have more wingers than the other player position at the moment. So that also gives us the advantage on the break. But at home, when we're expected to attack, we just can't capitalise on anything.
Rich, I don't know about you, but it sounds like being a Colchester fan, you might as well be a Swindon fan.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, Colchester, they've got quite a few good attacking players as well, haven't you? You've got like Judgy and all that crew, like sort of thing. I'm surprised that you're struggling at all, really, given some of the players that you brought in the summer. So, but yeah, no, wow. If that's the case, then it seems as if it could be another dominant on possession again for us this weekend, but. You know, if they can't put 2 passes together, we got to take advantage of that. But you know, that's a bit of a shame, really, from Colchester's point of view. But for us, we've got to take every advantage we can get.
So I know we're only early in the week, obviously recording on a Tuesday night. But what's the general feeling you're seeing online from your fan base? Is there confidence, given that you're playing us, that you can get a result, or is there some concern that, you know, Swindon might actually turn up and score some goals? So, I think he's frozen. We will carry on. He's shocked by the detail of analysis there. All right, guys.
There he is.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm at hospital at the moment, so that's why it's always a bit sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my youngest, obviously youngest, he's only just been born. My little one was born 6 weeks early, randomly. So,
well, first of all, congratulations.
thank you.
And I'm sure everything will be absolutely fine for you. I was just asking before you connectioned it there, what's the feeling in the fan base? Confident ahead of the game or slightly wary of Swindon?
I think it's slightly wary because this obviously you have had a fairly decentish start to the season at times, and our lack of attacking intent can slow us down at times. I think if you'd spoken to me after the Barrow game, I'd be really confident, not drama, blah. After the Crawley game, not as much so. I think it's going to be, we're going back to the fact that the players we've got, I think we've got too many of one or two type of players. And what we're trying to do is shoehorn them into a system that maybe doesn't suit them as well. So Alan Judge, for example, if you play him as a 10, he'd be very, very productive. For some reason, we seem to play more as a holding midfielder, which is sort of taking a lot of his ball-playing skills out of the equation.
His face. He's not happy.
Wow. No, that's shocking.
Well, I could see him doing a job on Gladwin. So Ben, I'll come to you first then. What's your thoughts ahead of the game? Are you confident? Have you got a score prediction for us? What you're expecting?
I'm confident because of their form not being great, but you've also got to be wary of the talent that they have got as well. And they have strung some good results this season. So there's potential that every game, is unique in itself, and it takes a good tackle, a good move to get teams' confidence back up. And they've got players on their team that can hurt us. So
absolutely,
I'm not going to walk in going, oh yeah, it's going to be 3-0, because we've only won one game at home this season. So I don't think we can go in, full of confidence that we're going to take this on and win quite comfortably. So I think it's going to be another tight game. I'm hoping we get that first half goal that we spoke to earlier, so it can open us up a little bit, so they have to come at us. But if we don't get that goal, then I think the game's up for grabs for both teams. So I'm gonna, if you want to score out of me, because I'm always confident with Arsenal, I'll say we'll win, but I think we'll win by the odd goal. But we can easily lose this game. I can't, I'm not expecting 3 points. I'm hopeful.
Okay. Or we might draw, Ben.
We might draw. We might draw. Well, I tell you one thing, lads. It's going to be one of 3 results. I've got a feeling that we might win. We could draw.
You've absolutely cursed that now, and it is going to get abandoned.
Deluge.
What about you, Kieran? What are you thinking going into it?
I think we need to start scoring more goals, but then again, you can only win a game and get 3 points out of it. But we need to start looking at maybe goal differences and stuff. But I think, Colchester are going to come and attack us, which is going to be no one's really done that at home for us yet. They've not really attacked us. We've had Carlisle and Port Vale really stick out at just time wasting, shithouse League Two sides that can't be fucked. I know they're going to beat you through that because they're fucking shit, but they beat you through that and they get results through that, and they get themselves into false positions through that. So I think Colchester can be a slightly better game, but I think they're going to score. I don't think we can keep a clean sheet no matter how good our goalkeeper is, because they're going to come and attack us. But I think it's still going to be a tight game. So I think we're going to go 2-1 Swindon. Tyrese with both goals as well.
Rich?
Yeah, I'm same with Kieran on that one. I reckon we'll win 2-1. I think both teams are more than capable of scoring. And let's see what changes we make. I don't think we're going to change our approach to the game. I think we'll go out attacking, possession based as Ghana ball comes into play. Let's see what happens. But I'm saying 2-1 on this one.
And how about you, Woody?
Colchester not scoring many, but they haven't conceded many either. I think they got one of the better records in the league in terms of conceded goals. So I've got a feeling we're either going to win 3-0 or we're going to lose 1-0.
So we're going to draw.
Or we could draw.
We could draw.
We could draw.
No, I'm going to go a 2-0 win. I do feel that we are getting players. There's no disrespect to Colchester, but you did us over too many times before. So it's
True, yeah.
I think it's our turn now. But on a side note, Harrogate Crawley tonight, 2-1 to Crawley, and it's just like this. It's only the first half.
You see, Wickham were 1-0 up at Man City.
Yeah, and it's but what are Harrogate playing at? I mean, they've only got a capacity of about 3,000, haven't they? What are they doing, messing around at the top end of the table?
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
get back down to where you should be.
My boy Simpson's going to score again because obviously he loves Colchester. Being from Ipswich, he loves Colchester, so he's going to score. But yeah, in all seriousness, I am going to go 2-0. I think it will be 2-0.
And so, if I offered you a point now, would you take it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Also, as well, if you've got players that are from Ipswich, born and bred, we'll probably sign them. So be careful about that one. That's obviously like our done thing, isn't it? So just be very, don't leave a pen near him. Now, to be fair, if it's at our place, I'd have you guys down to win sort of 2-3-1. I think because we're on the road, how we've been, look at a draw, I about 1-1, even 2-2. Like, I really think it's going to be a tight game, but I think we might nick a point. A couple of games ago, and I will say a record against you, I'd have been confident we'll come take all 3 off you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not so sure. Obviously, listen to you guys, how you're having watched, obviously, you guys play and what you're saying. I'm not as confident now, so I reckon a draw.
That's it. We're scaring him. We're scaring him, lads. We're doing the job. That's going to feed through to the team. Let's, Si, thanks again for joining us. Obviously, you've come on to help us talk a bit wider then about League Two. We're just over a month into the season. We sit here with Forest Green top of the league, Oldham bottom of the league. And I mean, Woody, I know you were joking there about Harrogate and stuff. There's a few surprise names at the top of the table, which we'll come to in a minute. There's also a few perhaps surprise names down towards the bottom. I mean, we've already alluded to when we did the preview show, a few of us said we expected Colchester to be challenging. Salford have been abysmal, really, by what their expectations were. Mansfield down there as well. I mean, do we mention Bristol Rovers? It'd be unfair.
Barton did a wonderful job. God, we're going to win the league still, Barton. I love it.
Is he in prison yet?
Only a matter of time.
Yeah, it'll happen.
So Woody, I'll come to you first. When you're looking at the division wider, let's focus down the bottom end where we're not, thankfully, at the moment. What are you seeing when you see the likes of Salford, Colchester?
Well, I'm seeing like myself in that predictions when I said that Mansfield and Salford would be challenging the top 2 spaces, and thinking, what a bloody dickhead that guy was. I mean, to be fair, Mansfield didn't start too badly, did they? I don't think. I think it was it after their loss to us that they
we pissed them.
They kind of went downhill a bit. I mean, if we can carry on doing that, that'd be great. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because we can laugh at Bristol Rovers. Of course, we can laugh at Bristol Rovers because I'm pretty sure they were labelled as one of the favourites to jump back up again. But the thing is, we're playing them soon, and they will probably beat us. So it's I'm not surprised to see Scunthorpe down there, and with the off the pitch stuff, I'm not surprised to see Oldham down there. But yeah, Mansfield especially, and Salford. I think Salford will pick it back up again slowly. I think they will. They are kind of on a bit of a loss win run at the moment.
They'll sack their manager and they'll kick on.
I just don't like Salford as a whole, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Gary Bowyer, what a shit manager he is, anyway.
Yeah.
Number 2, like I mean, their support their support off the bat is just shocking, isn't
well,
it?
to be fair to them, there's too much competition up there.
Yeah, it's too much.
Teams. That's the problem in terms of around that area and stuff like that. I mean, most Salford fans are probably people that can't go to Man United games. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And I agree, absolutely. But I think for me, I lost a little bit of respect. I mean, I watched that full-time thing, and I think, fair play. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but for me, I kind of lost a bit of respect for him when they got rid of Alexander, because I just thought that he was doing a good job considering the size of the club. He was doing a very good job, and obviously they took Wellens, and he didn't do anything there really. That went well.
But yeah, exactly. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Harrogate, the surprise package at the Ever, I would have put them down this season. And fair play to them, because you got to love a story like that. But yeah, Oldham, Scunthorpe, Rovers, if they go Conference League, I might even just buy a Rovers season ticket next season just to rock up in my Swindon shop. But yeah, it's
that's how Woody died.
yeah, that's, and not just because he's on the call, but Colchester again, massive surprise to me down that end. But then, like I say, if you're not scoring goals because you're not conceding many, I did have a look shortly after I mentioned earlier. You've only conceded 7 goals this season. You know, that's for a team in the bottom half of the table. That's not a bad record.
Absolutely.
So, but you guys are too big to be down there. But that's a surprise. But the league's so close. It's a close league.
It's only going to take 1 or 2 losses for team, 1 or 2 wins for teams to either go up or go down. You know, so like you said, but it's always like that though, especially with League 2 and League 1.
And it is still very much in its infancy. You know, we haven't played that many games yet. It's not like we're a quarter of the way or halfway through the season. If we were having this conversation around Christmas time, it might have a different feel to it. There's a couple of mentions there about Oldham, Ben. Obviously, sad scenes at the weekend when you see another club where their fan base are having to protest. You're seeing, you know, caskets being carried around and stuff. A situation that we found ourselves in. It's not nice for fan bases at all when the club's just completely going down the toilet, is it?
Yeah, no, it's shocking really that it's allowed to happen, and I think it'll carry on happening until like criminal charges or something can be done against these wide boy owners. This Adamabola or whatever his name is, who owns the club, it's clearly an ego thing. You know, in the past he's been picking the teams and he sacks managers every month, and he's just slowly killing the club, and it's heartbreaking to see because obviously they're an ex-Premier League club, aren't they? So they could easily be us, mm-hmm. and it nearly happened to us a few months ago. So when you get first-hand experience of pain it is, and their fans are still going for it, you've got to feel for them a little bit because they were once a very good, proud club, and I hope that they do eventually board. But I think the only way they can actually do that now is the fans start to do what we did and boycott and force their hand a little bit and stop going. It may take an administration to do it for him to go, but if they stop the money going, and eventually he will go. Absolutely. But they might need to go down to go back up. But it's sad.
You guys played them yet? You played them away? Have you played Oldham away yet?
No, we've got the 30th of October.
So we went up there, I think it's like our second or third game of the season, and you can just tell it's defeated, toxic atmosphere. It's horrible. Even for the away fan winning, you feel bad for the situation and bad for the whole. To be fair, when I came out there a couple of seasons ago, I felt depressed anyway. So
I quite like it.
Really good
pies. It was probably because Ali Koiki made the mistake, Woody, for the second goal.
Thought of Oldham just depresses me. I've been there a couple of times. No, and it's just a fucking shithole.
They're banned only fans other than season ticket fans. So season ticket holders have been buying tickets now. Stuff like to try and sort of stop the press, the pitch invasion stuff, and it's just heartbreaking. Like you say, they could be the first ex-Premier League team to end up in non-league. It's not sort of anything you want to see any club get, really.
No, absolutely not. Si, I'll ask you similar phrase question to what I gave Woody earlier. We've focused on the bottom. Let's have a look at the teams at the top. Who are you expecting to slide down? Who surprised you?
It's a tough one. I think Harrogate have been everyone's surprises up at the top of where they're doing so well. But like you said, though, because the league table's so tight, we're where we are. We've still got a game in hand due to the Sutton game getting called off. So that's potentially 3 more points to bounce us a bit further up. I think Forest Green will stay there, if I'm really honest, because they've got a really strong squad. They're playing very attractive football. You know, as much as it's cliche, if you attractive football tends to win games. If you're going to win games, you're going to get the points, you're going to go up. I think they're almost certain to sort of stay where they are. But the rest of it is very hit and miss, I think, till Christmas, the New Year, or even till everyone's played each other once to really get a feel for where people are going. And then the other issue is the transfer window in January, especially for clubs who've got a lot of low-knee players. So they're doing well in League 2. Are the bigger clubs going to want to move them to League 1 to get a bit more higher experience? And then is that going to curtail plans, etc.? So I think because there's already been, Rich said, it's such a tight league down here. Anyone can beat anyone almost in a day.
Yeah.
It's going to take a couple of victories, a couple of defeats here and everywhere before people do sort themselves out. So, no, I think Forest Green will stay up there. They're probably, out of all of them, the one I'd say will go up. The rest of them, I think it's still very much anyone's game. Oldham will go, just purely if they don't go on football, they'll go on administration. So that then leaves the final slot. Who's going to go down there? So it's sad when you sort of talk about football teams disappearing due to off-field problems more than on field. Everyone doesn't mind. Well, not true. Everyone will get relegated through poor football, but it's not fair on the hardcore fans.
Yeah,
who've been there 20, 30 years to get relegated due to the fact that one bloke wants to have his name on a director's bit of paper and just flaunts it around.
No, completely echo that, and it's not great. So you mentioned a large part of Forest Green's success. They've got the joint top goal scorer in the league at the minute on 6 goals in Stevens. They've got 2 men at the top of the assist charts, both with 4 each. Clearly, it's working for them at the minute. It's clicking, but realistically, as you say, a lot of teams can say if they can get it to click. I mean, we were mentioning before you came on, there's certain players at Swindon where we think if it clicks, we could go on the sort of run where players are scoring that sort of ratio of goals, picking up that ratio of assists. I'm sure, we mentioned in the preview show, and I know Rich mentioned it earlier, there's players even at Colchester who, if it clicks, you could be very good to watch, get consistent results. And as we say, we are still in the infancy of the league. So I don't think many fans of any club will either be too unduly concerned if they're lower down than they expected, or sort of believing the hype if they're higher up than they expected at this stage, because there's still such a long way to go. And there's still so many other factors. I mean, again, something we've spoken about, we've had international call-ups affecting squad availability, which isn't something we normally have to worry about. But it's a thing this year. We have people playing internationals, and you've got to work your way around it, and so there's still a long way to go.
Just like going back to that, we're 16th. If we win our game at hand, potentially with decent goals, we could end up at 8th. Yeah. So straight away, it's a big jump there. So like I say, it's still very early. Yeah, that's what I'm clinging to anyway. It's still very early days.
I'm just hoping Forest Green's wheels fall off, because I know they're 2 fans. They go up and we don't, they're going to be fucking unbearable. They were unbearable last year. We got relegated, but I mean, they're a small village club, and I think they didn't even deserve to be in League 2. It wasn't for that fucking vegan prick who just putting all his money in. And they give him £10 million losses. Give him £10 million losses in the National League. There's clubs like Oldham can't even fucking literally buy a pot to piss in. It's ridiculous that they're allowed to have life, and Wrexham are going to be the next fucking ones with that shilly little fucking Deadpool cunt and the other one. But they're just buying their way to success. It's annoying. There's traditional clubs here struggling, not us anymore as much, with our Australian millionaire owner who we love.
That's different. He made his money, didn't he? It's fine.
Yeah, it is. Toilets. It's more legit than the last one, anyway.
If ever there was anything to advertise what I think makes this podcast special, you've got all these ones with massive effects and they get star names and stuff, but this is all about raw emotion and Kieran just flying off the handle with as many expletives as he can throw into one sentence. But we won't edit it out because it's raw and it's what we want. Real fans, real passion.
Got to make that exclusive tag worth it on your thing.
The only problem is we've lost such a fan base now because Kieran's gone against vegans.
That's one thing that annoys me there. If you were to have a ground where you only sold meat, people would be up in arms.
Yeah.
But then you can go to their ground, but you can't get a burger. It's like, well, hang on. You're saying we can't dictate what you eat, but you'll dictate what everyone else eats. So it just seems a bit of a hypocrisy in my point of view.
Equal rights for meat eaters.
Exactly.
Do you know what? I was about to go like full Christian and do something really, and I was able to stop myself. The self-control not to say something outrageous then. I don't know if you could see the anguish in my face, not to make a joke there. Listen, before this does curtail completely out of hand and we do get taken off the airways, Si, thanks as always for coming on. Hope to see, I hope to see you again in a few weeks or so, and we'll do another catch up sometime between now and Christmas.
Did they beat us or not?
That depends. They win. Cheers for coming.
If we give you 3 points, I'll be welcome back, won't I? If we win, I'll be like, all right. Nice meeting you. We'll see you again.
Obviously, when we win on Saturday, you'll be invited on again next week to discuss it.
That's right. I'll start making my excuses now. Other than the fact we're just poor.
Gents, as always, thank you very much for your time this evening to talk all things STFC as well. It is much appreciated. And we sign off as always saying that if you would like to get involved and share your opinions with us, drop us a message on Facebook, on Twitter. We will certainly get you on. The more the merrier. And I won't be ripping off any 70s and 80s TV idols sign-offs this week. I'm just going to say good night. Thanks, Ben, Kieran, Rich, Woody, and Si. Until next time.